Hello, everyone. Good morning. How are you all? I hope you are doing well and staying safe. Thank you so much for joining me today here. Thank you so much for being with me today. And I hope you are following all necessary protocols and staying well. Now, as you know, in ixamBee, RBI Assistant 2021 has been a buzzword for a couple of weeks. All the notifications, what you have been waiting for, you still need to wait some more time for that, but the time will not wait for you. So the right thing would be to make most of the time that we have in our hand. Let's try to be positive. Let's try to keep our spirits high and start off well. As we all know, well begun is half done. Let's try to begin well and let's try to start preparing, pull up our stocks and start preparing so that when the notifications come in, we are all ready. Okay, with this in mind, um, let's start talking about sentence rearrangement today. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining so much. Hi, Arnob. I am good. What about you? Hello, Aman. Hi, Vikram. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Hi, Tushar. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, now before we start off talking about sentence rearrangement, and this is a quick reminder if you are planning to sit for the exam and you are looking for good quality guidance, this is the right place, right? So our new batch is starting on the 24th of May, and this is the time to enroll, right? We have excellent faculty, excellent study matter, and we have all experts who are going to guide you and lead you to your final destination. So with this in mind, hi Shubham. Okay, let's start off. I hope by this time you are more or less acquainted with the syllabus, right? So, broad based, let's have a quick review. We have the grammar section, and when it comes to the grammar section, uh, you have your parts of speech, you have your tenses, your preposition, and you different uses of subject verb agreement. Along with that, we have narration, active and passive. Hello Arnob, hello Anjali, hi Vaibhav, hello Harshil, hello Arunima. Good morning everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Hello Prachi, thank you so much for joining. So grammar is basically a very important pillar when it comes to preparing yourself for the exam. That's followed by vocabulary, right? So your vocab can come as a filler when you need to fill in with the appropriate word, or that can come in as a synonym and antonym in the reading comprehension section, right? So with that, we have the reading comprehension section. Now, the rest of it, when it comes to error spotting, passage making, sentence rearrangement, sentence framing, fill in the blanks, close test, sentence improvement. This is basically your application part, right? So when it comes to conceptual knowledge and strengthening your conceptual knowledge, you have to focus on grammar and vocabulary and reading comprehension. And the rest, I promise, will fall into place. The only thing that you need to remember is practice, 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 practice. And with ixamBee, our mock tests are free, and it's going to give you a very good opportunity to practice and try to assess your skills, your areas of strength, and your areas of weakness. Now, today we are going to focus only on sentence rearrangement. And sentence rearrangement is, it's kind of interesting because it's like a puzzle, right? Let's not think it's a bugbear. Let's not be scared of it, right? Let's just take it as just a puzzle, and you need to work that puzzle out. That's it, right? So how do you work out a puzzle? Okay, now a good way to work out when it comes to a puzzle is to find out what it's all about, right? For example, I'm sure you must have seen jigsaw puzzles, right? So the pieces are scattered everywhere, you need to put them all together, but it becomes easier if you know that this jigsaw puzzle, it's about maybe Cinderella, or it's about Lion King, or it's about the story of the hare and the rabbit. So things become easier if you try to understand the bigger picture. So our keyword when it comes to looking at sentence rearrangement, and when it comes to RBI assistant, the difficulty level is going to be something between easy to moderate. Usually it's easy. It should not be a bugbear at all. It should not be something that's going to scare you, because the trick is to find out what it's all about. Now, if you understand the story, then please understand, I'm sure this is obvious, that the story has a link, right? There's a logical link. So you can link the ideas. First, they're going to be at the beginning of a story, then we'll have the more information about what happens to the rabbit and the hare, and then the rabbit and the hare will decide to participate in a race, and then what happens in the race, and finally who wins in the race. So there is a logical sequence. That is what we are looking at right here, right? So let's quickly take a look at an example, because this example is going to help us, right, to understand what I am talking about, what I've been talking about, links and establishing a connection, right? So the first thing that you need to do, thank you, Bevav, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for participating. It would be lovely if you can participate and put in your valuable inputs, right? Okay, now let's take a look at this example. So you are taking your exam, you're sitting right there, you are ready, and this is what you have in front of you. Okay, now the first thing that we need to do is we need to read it carefully. Now, the moment, what happens when we are taking an exam, all of us, we are very, very stressed. It's very, very normal to be stressed. So we look at it, and instantly what happens to us is that, oh my God, will I be able to do it? And you hit the panic mode. And if you hit the panic mode, you are basically wasting your time, because you're going to read it again and again and again, and nothing will register. Calm down, gather yourself together, and read it carefully. Let's take a look at it. Okay, I'm going to do some bit of hand holding, and then we will do it independently. Okay, now this is the hand holding part of it. Then two astronomers, the German Johannes Kepler and the Italian Galileo Galilei, started publicly to support the Copernican theory, despite the fact that the orbits it predicted did not quite match the ones observed. Yes? Now, can you tell me? There is a clue in the first sentence itself, which should tell you this is not the first sentence. Move ahead. Which word is it? Can you tell me? There is a word right there which is telling you this is not the first sentence, it's the middle of something. This is not the first sentence. Move on. Please move on. Which word is it? Can you tell me? Anyone? Quick guess. Okay, let me help you out. Right? So let's take a look at this word. Then. What does then mean? Then means that this is very good, Aman. Excellent. Then means this is the middle of something. Now, the moment you see the word then, don't waste your time trying to read the whole sentence, right? Because we have to move on. Then cannot be your first sentence. You move on. right? Or you can just quickly skim through the sentence. We are talking about three astronomers and they are talking about some theory. Fine, let's move on to the second one. His idea was that the sun was stationary at the center and that the earth and the planets move in circular orbits around the sun. Again, look at the first pronoun there, his. If the pronoun is mentioned, definitely the noun would have been mentioned before it. If the noun isn't mentioned in sentence A and you have a pronoun being dropped in sentence B, this is the second signal. Don't waste your time. Move on. Okay? Quickly, let's move on. So again, this is talking about another theory. Quick glance. 3. A simple model was proposed in 1514 by a Polish priest, Nicholas Copernicus. Did we get the main noun? Yes, did we get the main noun? Who are we talking about? Did we get the main person behind his? Yes, it's here. We're talking about Nicholas Copernicus. So a simple model. So the entire thing has been sort of started off in the first sentence itself. This is your sentence number 1. So we're talking about a simple theory which was proposed in 1514 by a Polish priest, Nicholas Copernicus. Now, if you get here, the rest is easy. So where is Nicholas Copernicus? He's in sentence B. So this is the second part of the paragraph. His idea was that the sun was stationary at the center and that the earth and the planets move in circular orbits around the sun. Okay? Now, A will be right after that because A is giving you more information about the theory. Then here shows time. It shows time. Then two astronomers, the German Johannes Kepler and the Italian, started publicly to support the Copernican theory. Right? And that leaves us with number 4. Nearly a century passed before this idea was taken seriously. Okay. Yes. It's C, B. Okay. Bhushan, no, it is not D. You need to correct that, right? Because sometimes we get confused. Just calm down and let's try to do this because we are almost there. This makes no point making mistakes, silly mistakes. So we have 1 C, B. This is number 3. Then 2 astronomers and C, B, A, and it's gonna be D. There you go. Okay, Akshay, quickly try to find out what went wrong. Okay, try to find out if you're wrong, and if your answer is not matching with this, you can ask me where you went wrong. If you have any confusions, please go ahead and ask. Otherwise, you need to see this once again. Okay, right now that leaves us with the second question. What exactly did we do? What did we do here, right? We started off by finding out what is the story. Remember, I was telling you, you skim through the lines and you realize it's telling you something about a theory and some astronomers who were supporting it, and the model was proposed sometime before that by another person. So you are basically trying to find out the bigger picture. That is very, very important. What it's all about. What's the theme? Is it talking about politics? It's talking about education? Is it talking about whether your climate crisis? Is it talking about the pandemic? Is it talking about a simple story with a moral? What is it talking about? That is very, very important. Once you get there, I know if you have played the game, connect the dots. Did you ever play the game? It's called connecting the dots. You need to connect the dots till they form a straight line. Yes, you need to connect the dots. That's the next thing. What are you connecting the dots? What did we do here? Let's quickly see and break it down and see what did we do here. We read the first sentence and we saw then means something must have come before it. So you are connecting the dots, right? So there must be something before it. So you're looking for the last dot. You read the second one and you see his means we need to find out the original noun, the root noun. So you go back again. You're trying looking for the first dot. So we are trying to connect the dots. Correct. Next, time reference. See, but then we try to find out the time reference. Then means what? Something must have happened before this happened. We're trying to find out what happened before this. So we are looking for a time reference. Look for keywords. Or another thing would be, I missed it, pronouns. Yes, we did that also. Very, very important. We saw the pronoun and we realized that we need to look for the real noun, okay? The real person, yes? And this keyword thing, I'm gonna tell you more about it in my next slide. It's a very, very handy thing to remember. But look at the last point, it's very important. Don't get stuck. So when you're looking at a sentence, if you're looking at a set and you cannot find where to fit in sentence A, and you're spending those precious, precious golden moments thinking endlessly, that is not helping, because it might happen that you can use the process of elimination. So move ahead, don't get stuck. If you get stuck, you are losing out on valuable time and you will not get time to do things that you are confident about. So with that in mind, let's quickly look at what this keywords that I'm talking about now. This is a very, very handy slide, right? You can take a screenshot and you can revisit this and you just need to remember this. There are certain keywords, and if you can identify those keywords, it's very easy to spot or understand if it's the first sentence or the last sentence, right? Now, these are introductory keywords. They usually begin a paragraph, but ultimately these sentences, they form a paragraph, right? So these are words that start off a paragraph. So nowadays, a and beginning, they start off a paragraph. Remember what happened here? A simple theory. Remember? Yes. Concluding paragraphs, and they sort of conclude, right? So thus, therefore, finally, eventually, clearly. Now, comparative keywords, likewise and similar, which means what? If you have a likewise and similar, they mean that you need to look for a pair, right? Only when you have two, you can compare, right? So likewise and similar, they will help you to compare, set up a comparative, a compare and contrast, right? Contrast is the same thing, but yet, although on the other hand, nevertheless, so if you have these, you need to look for the second set. Same with the connector. Whenever you have these three types of keywords, comparative, contrast, and connector, you need to look for the second set, right? With this in mind, we are now ready to move on, right? So we are get set and let's go. Now, let's try to do this independently. Take some time, all of you. Yes, put your thinking caps on and let's work it out together. Come on. Give yourself a minute and let's try to do this quickly. Let me see who can come in with the first sentence. Which one is the first sentence? Who can point out the first sentence? Who can tell me which one is the first sentence? Sentence number 1. Give yourself some time. Give yourself some time. There's no hurry, but try to find out the first sentence. And it's excellent if you can find out the rest of it, but try to find out the first sentence. Read the sentences very carefully. Okay, Aman, very good. Megha, Bhushan, excellent, excellent. Come on, others. Very good. Anyone who feels something else? Is there anyone who feels that C is not the first sentence? I'm very open. We can have a discussion, argument, and we'll be able to thrash it out. No problem. C, B. Very good. You are moving at such a good speed. Very good. So C is the first sentence. B, Niket, you need to think that once again. You need to think that once again. C, B. Now, C, okay, C is the first sentence. Fantastic. I agree. What's the next sentence? Which is the next sentence? Which is the next sentence? Ah, Bhushan, excellent. Let me see. C, B. No, Bhushan, you need to think about it once again. There is a little tricky part here. Don't let it fool you. Do not let it fool you. Okay, let me discuss this quickly. You're almost there. Almost there. Very good. So C is the first sentence. No question about that, right? Now, you feel B is the second sentence. But look, they continue to constantly discourage them. Now, they means we need to look for a noun that comes before it. We need to look for a noun that comes before it, right? Now, C is the first sentence. A group of frogs was roaming around the forest in search of water. Two frogs in the group suddenly accidentally fell into a deep pit. They continued. Which day are we talking about? Which day? You see, there is a confusion here. It might seem that the B is the next sentence, but it's not. Don't get fooled, okay? This is a trap, okay? A is the next sentence. Seeing how deep the pit was, pit is being connected to pit. So more information comes in sentence A. You saw how deep the pit was. The other frogs, okay, told them, I'm sorry, I missed a word here, told them that there was no way they could escape the deep pit and that there was no point in trying. They and then will come B. They continued to constantly discourage them. This is the way of discouraging. This is the way of discouraging. As the two frogs tried to jump out of the pit and failed. And let me see. C, A, B, F, 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 F. Yes, very good, very good, very good. After BF, they started to believe, one of them started to believe, and he gave up and died. Very good. Next, CAFB, D, very good. D. The other frog keeps trying and eventually jumps so high that he escapes the pit. Excellent. E. Okay, that's the last sentence. What happened was that the second frog was deaf and couldn't hear the discouragement of the group and simply thought they were cheering him on. Let me ask you something which is off the point, right? Not related. What do you think the moral of the story is? What do you think the moral of the story is? What is it telling you about? If you can try, you can just try. It would be a nice discussion. What do you think the moral of the story is? Yes, CAFB. Very good. There you go. Bhushan, you missed one. Look, you need to count your alphabets and see. Have you covered all the sentences? Yes. See, silly mistakes. These are silly mistakes. You cannot do that. You have to be very, very careful. Yes, 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 yes. It's a very nice story. This is what happens if you keep on listening to what people are saying, right? Because sometimes people can be very, very discouraging. Do not listen to anyone. You have to believe in yourself and go ahead with it. This is very much similar to what's happening around us right now, right? So much of going on, you really cannot concentrate because you need to follow your heart. Never give up. Very good. Not only never give up, don't listen to others. Others might just be very, very discouraging. They might want to put you down. Don't listen to anyone. Very good, Arnav. Thank you. Let's move on to the second one. Now, this one, I am not going to help you. You do it yourself. You will do it yourself, okay? Let's quickly do this. Let's quickly do this. The first sentence. Come on. Yes, Hemant. Yes, exactly. You got it there. Yeah. Let's take a look at this. What about this one? Come on. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Try to work this out. Okay, Niket. A, you feel, is the first sentence. I will not tell you whether you're right or wrong. I'm going to wait for others to come in. Very okay, Bhushan. Okay, Aman. Anyone who feels that A is okay, or no, you feel D is the first sentence. Okay, fine. Let's move on and look for the next sentence. Let's look for the next sentence. That's okay. If it's very common that you're gonna make mistakes, but try to arrange others. Remember, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. So if you fit in the nose piece in the in the in the gap that where the ear should have gone, that's okay. When you finish the rest of it, you look at it, you will see that yeah, it's a mistake. So you will change it on your own. That's okay. But you need to finish doing the rest. Fill in the rest. What's the next sentence? So this is talking about how people work. It's a very interesting passage about how, what Princeton University is a very well-known university. You have all brilliant people only going there, bright ones. So it's about what's happening there, how people study, how people work, and I mean they work so hard. They are so workaholics. It's about that. Okay, just to give you a quick outline about the story that's here. So can you tell me? ADB, Aman. Okay. Shivan. D is your second sentence, Shivan? Is it your second sentence? Others, come on. A, D, B, C, E. Okay, Aman, let me see. A, then D, B, C. Okay, Mohit also feels A, D, B, C, E. Bhushan, A, D, B, C, E. Okay, anyone who has another answer? Something else? Anyone who has another answer? Okay, right. Let's quickly go through this. Okay. Okay. Now, a few months ago, I went to remember A. Remember a? Yes. If you remember our keywords, see, it helps if you remember the keywords. You should remember this. You should keep the slide very handy. This is a very useful slide. So that is clue. It's a good clue, strong clue that this is the first sentence, right? A few months ago, I went to Princeton University to see what young people who are going to be running our country in a few decades are like. Okay, that's a good way. So now let's look at the next sentence. In case you are confused and you did not find the next sentence, let's just follow as it is given. I would go to sleep in my hotel room around midnight each night, and when I awoke, my mailbox would be full of replies. So, which means what? The information that we have here is not adequate. It's not enough. We need to talk about. We need to know that what mailbox are we talking about? What reply? So information is not enough to come to a conclusion that B should be the next sentence. Okay, jolly well. Move on. One senior told me that she went to bed around 2 and woke up each morning. Again, there is a gap. What are we looking for? What am I looking for? Next, look at D. So faculty members gave me the names of a few dozen articulate students and I sent them emails. So there is a connection. See, mailbox, emails. There you go. There is a link, right? So that should tell you we are looking at second sentence right here. So I wanted to know how people at Princeton, what's their lifestyle, how they work, and what did I do? I approached the faculty members, and they gave me the names of a few dozen articulate, willing to speak, people who are willing to speak and talk about themselves. And I sent them emails so that I could invite them out to lunch or dinner in small groups. Fine. So obviously the next sentence would be B. So I would go to sleep in my hotel room around midnight each night, and when I awoke, my mailbox would be full of replies sent at 1:15 a.m., 2:59 a.m., 3:23 a.m. So they are working all night. Now we are sorted with 3 sentences, right? We are done. Now we have 2 more sentences to go. So it's either or, and the other can, we can do it by the process of elimination, either or. Okay, so we are done with A, we are done with B, we are done with D, right? So we have C left and we have E left, right? Let's look at C first. One senior told me that she went to bed, it's talking about her, she's talking about her own lifestyle, around 2 and woke up each morning at 7. Okay, fine. Look at number E. As she was falling asleep. Now, she here refers to the senior. So, obviously, C and E would come after each other. They would be a pair. It's going to be a pair, right? Because the link has been established. Remember, connect the dots. Connect the dots. You have to connect the dots, right? So one senior told me that she went to bed around 2 and woke up each morning at 7. Yes? And the E is telling you something else, more information about her lifestyle. She used to fall asleep, then she would recite a math problem or a paper topic to herself. She would then dream about it. And when she woke up, the problem might be solved. So it's a very, very interesting situation. She was to dream about math all night, right? So now our answer, let's quickly take a look at our answer. A, D, B. A here, D here, B here, C and E. Yes? So most of you got it right. Congratulations. Okay? So what you need to remember, what you need to take away from this session, a good takeaway from this session would be to try to look for the bigger picture. Yes, that should be your buzzword in your mind. Try to look for the bigger picture, what it's all about. And then try to use the slide that I gave you on keywords. Use that to connect the dots. Try to see if it's the first sentence or the last sentence or it forms a pair. Okay, once you connect the dots, even if you don't connect the dots for all the sentences, here what did we do? We had 5. We first sorted out the 3 of them, right? Once we sorted out 3 of them, the other 2 would be just a process of elimination. You can do it right. Okay, now this being the whole process, the only way you can speed it up is to do 2 things. First, you need to practice what is called speed reading. Try to read things fast, and that you can do by skimming and scanning. These are all different ways of reading a passage. You skim, you scan, right? So speed reading would be a very important technique, and the other thing would be practice, practice, and practice. There's no alternative for practice. The more you practice, and practice also helps with speed reading. You have to practice when it comes to sentence rearrangement, because the more you do and the more confident you will be, and you will not be easily scared, and you will not freak out easily. That being said, I hope you like this session. I hope you found this session useful, and I have been able to instill a bit of confidence in you, be able to guide you through the process. Do not forget to practice. Do not forget to prepare a collection of sets, and you can go ahead, time yourself, and practice. And don't panic. You be confident. You'll be fine. Okay? Just don't panic. With this, thoughts in mind, I'm gonna end this live session here. All the best for your preparation. Be confident, be strong, be positive. Okay? Thank you so much being so patient and so interactive participants. Thank you.